Your DNA stuff. Should I just say the surprising thing right up front?
Yes.
It looks like Earl is connected to a murder that took place in 1991.
This is not good.
Yeah.
You should not have agreed to do this.
It was a purse snatching gone wrong.
That was Tupac or Biggie, but hey.
Oh, racist. Well, Earl, you know nothing about your roots, right?
Little to nothing, yes.
Yeah. And you always said if you went to Africa, you would like to go to where?
I always wanted to check out South Africa.
South Africa.
Mali.
South Africa is the only part of Africa that was really done up big time by white people. All right. Now we have your ethnic background here, 100% of it. Are you ready, Earl?
I've been psyched ever since I took the test.
Vito, play the opening and the music.
I don't have any.
Look under that tiny pizza. I think it's funny that Chris left it, that we don't have it. As long as you've been doing radio, what would we like to do when we're...
Production.
Mm-hmm. Earl, let me just apologize to you. This is your day. The day that you finally find out who you are. The day that you can yell out, Kunta Kinte, I have found you.
Be James Earl Jones for a day.
Yeah.
She is so excited. She can't stand it. She's anticipation.
She's just a baby, though, you know? She just, this
when
is
you
her
think
first.
about it, she's kind of just a baby.
I mean...
It's easy to forget.
If anyone is connected to their original DNA, it's her. Not that long ago, she was both sperm and egg together. Okay? Forever and ever. She's a good baby, though. She's a good baby. And Earl, I would love for this thing to say that you were the father of a bunch of children. Earl.
Yes.
Despite not having production, a song, or anything to build this up, this is very, very exciting. And there is 34% of you are from a certain place in Africa.
Wow. 34.
Yes, 34%.
That's pretty.
That's pretty big.
That's a pretty big chunk.
Yeah. And your people are from the Benin / Togo or Togo area of Africa. Are you?
I'm familiar with Benin.
Yeah. When you began the beginning. So let's see this.
There it is.
Wow.
Now, Earl, here's something that I think is really, really shocking. And I don't know what that area, let me see it again. Well, I wonder what that was known as before, because these are probably new.
But been colonized and recolonized.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah. But again, it is on the coast. I told you, I believe that a big part of you was going to be West Coast.
Yeah.
Africa, because that's where they snatched from.
That's where they got him.
Yeah.
North of the W.
Now, here's the deal on this, and I found this fascinating. This is where the famous all-female warriors came from, the one that the Amazon myth was described on, and also it shows up in that Black Panther movie. But I thought of that immediately because of your sisters. You always said that your sisters were really strong, tough women.
Yeah, then very athletic.
Yeah,
my oldest sister was a star athlete in high school.
You're pretty much mostly from Wakanda, straight up.
You really are kind of a Wakanda. So that's really, really interesting right off the bat.
My mind is so blown right now. I can't even put in the words how blown my mind is.
Your people at one point were great female warriors. Your sisters are great female athletes, and also have been hard on you and your brother. But I find that strong female thing to be really, really... And that's the first thing I thought of, is the way you've described your sisters before. The next part, Earl. is 25%.
Ooh, also sizable.
Now,
It's big chunks. Not even like
these
little
are big chunks.
itty bitties.
And the reason why we even did this is because you believe you had Native American blood. 25%. Yes, baby. 25%
She's into it.
of your ethnic background is Cameroon, Congo, and Southern Bantu peoples.
Cameroon.
Cameroon is my favorite of the World Cup soccer teams. They're really exploding on the scene right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Now, let's see exactly where that is.
So there's Cameroon.
Yeah.
A little bit,
Just south of. Now, it's only Nigeria or in between the Benin and things. There's Cameroon and the Congo, which very, very exciting. So, Earl, we've already made up.
So that's over half.
59% of your background. So far, is this something that's exciting to you?
Very, very, very exciting.
I'm really excited about the Cameroon.
Cameroon is Benin. I think it's Benin.
Yeah, I
have friends who've gone there.
And what do they think of it? Just put up some pictures. Just put up that and put up images
of the native land, the motherland.
Earl, you don't have to write it down. I'm going to give you all the information.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, that was so cute. He's like, I'm going to jot this one down.
Yeah, let's see the area.
Beautiful.
Holy shit.
Is that you, Earl?
Earl, your people are very colorful. That can't be the way they look now, though. Take a picture of this. This is the town. And they liked it, Earl, when they went?
Yeah, loved it. And I think that's, I think Benin is one of the birthplaces of what we now consider the American blues, too.
You are kidding me.
Yeah, that's basically where it traces back to. I've been told that.
What is it, like the beat from there? The rhythm?
I think stringed instruments.
I didn't know that they had stringed instruments in Africa back then.
But I think that's where a couple of guys that I know went back there for to kind of trace it all back, like musical roots. But
so that's extra exciting to you for that.
I'm speechless right now.
Yeah.
I'm like legit.
Do you feel like for the first time in your life, you know who you are?
Yeah. No, at least I know where I come from, where it starts. But this is like, whoa. I don't know how accurate this test was.
Oh, it's accurate. Because the next one is another 15%.
Still another good chunk.
Earl, you were looking for, the reason why this started was Native American. By the way, that sound that you hear, that's your ancestors calling to you.
Channeling through a baby?
Yes, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
They channel through little white babies. I didn't think Earl was going to react like this, did you?
No.
You can see that you're visibly moved.
I'm going to be honest. I was like all excited, and now I'm just getting really teary-eyed.
Well, I see that Earl, I've never seen him wet-eyed before. He's not a sentimental guy, but I can see that this matters. We're going to find out. You've got another 15% chunk coming in here. Will this be Native American? It is the Ivory Coast and Ghana.
Ghana.
Oh.
15% the Ivory Coast and Ghana. So let's take a look at them.
To the left there. Yep, right there.
Also right in the same...
kind of right next to Togo and Benin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your people... Well, they seem like they're beach people, Earl. I don't like. They're always on the coast.
Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy the water?
We got that great tan.
Now, what is this Ivory Coast? What is that? That?
Yes, right
Ivory
here.
Coast,
Yep.
Well, what do they call it there?
Like Côte d'Ivory?
Yeah.
Now, the
like
Ivory
almost
Coast. Do you think that really has to do with ivory, like getting ivory?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the trade was very big then.
Earl, that's a major part of your background right now.
So that's like 70, almost 70%.
Almost
over 70.
Yeah, almost 70%.
70, almost 74. That's 3/4. Oh my god.
Yeah, 3/4 of you
almost
comes from this coast of Africa. And remember, I told you I had a feeling it was going to be very coastal because I don't think they went in deep.
No, they didn't. They stuck with the West Coast. Midwest
West Coast slaves are hip. Earl, we got another 11% here. That will take you to 90% of your background. You can hear your ancestors calling from above.
They sound hungry.
Would you like another sliver of pizza? Did you guys finish up the other ones?
No, they're still in here.
Why?
They're just there's more for everybody.
What do you mean more for everybody?
Like, there's still more. If you guys want some more pizza, we have more pizza.
This 11% will take you 90% of your background. Earl is writing this down like I'm...
You'll withhold this from him.
No, I'm just...
The way that he used to write down the numbers for people back in the neighborhood growing up. Earl, 11%. You were looking for the Native American in you.
Yes. Again, according to my father.
You mentioned this country a little while ago as we were going through.
Is it Mali?
It's Mali, 11%.
Wow.
Now let's see exactly where that is, Chris. That's your most northern that you have now. Yes. And the only landlocked nation that you were part of. Next to Niger. And by the way, the African map has changed so much, I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't even know where a lot of these countries are off the map. I'm going to force myself to know that. I know, honey. We're all surprised. But you would think that a landlocked country would have a tough time making it in Africa.
I wonder if you're talking like those people migrated, like that comes from beforehand.
Interesting. Like they might have migrated down.
Yes, exactly. Because I would doubt that maybe, but I don't think they went in that far.
But also remember with this, it only takes one kind of strong person somewhere back in like the great-great-grandmother. You know what I mean? Like a great-great-grandmother or a great-grandfather would be, completely change that DNA over time. And I think the baby agrees with me right now.
Yeah.
So, Earl, that is 90% of your background. And why don't you read to me what I've given you so far, Earl?
So you said 34% was from Benin.
Yeah.
25% from Cameroon.
Right.
15% from Ghana. 11% from Mali.
Yeah. And of course, they've added, some other stuff in there.
So that's 85%.
It's 85? I thought that was 90% that we're at.
Well, I got my math wrong. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's 90%. So that leaves us 10%. And I'm going to give this away 90%. After this, Earl, we leave the continent of Africa.
We leave it all together. Wow.
Oh, my God.
You are 90% African descent. The fact that you're 10% other is pretty surprising to me.
Yeah.
You're like Scottish or something?
Or what were you looking for?
I said Scottish.
No, but what were you looking for originally? Why did we do this?
Native American.
Earl, you are 4% Irish and Scottish.
Irish and Scottish. I said Scottish.
4%.
So that's probably Douglas came from somewhere.
Earl, can I tell you something? We're related. You and I can trace our DNA.
Hence the love for the firewater.
Yes.
Oh, we loved it. Oh, the Douglases love to drink. Oh,
Oh, I
Lord
know
have
you do.
mercy.
Are you surprised by that, though?
Irish, yes. Scottish, somewhat. Well, oop.
Yeah.
He's good.
That does not sound good.
It's
This guy is so nervous.
Believe me, the first time she did it, I was horrified. It's fine, I promise.
Did that vape go right in her face?
She just ate too fast.
Yeah. I eat too
Irish,
fast.
Scott. Oh, wow.
I normally eat too fast. I couldn't today with the tiny minuscule
Too
pizzas.
little.
So
guess it's
4%
portion control.
Irish, Scottish.
4% Irish and Scottish.
You know what's crazy? Like every time I met someone from Scotland at the Hard Rock, I would always felt a connection to Scotland for some reason.
Well, like you said, you do have the Douglas name. Are you ready for this, Earl?
Yeah.
Another 3%. English, Welsh, and Northwestern Europe.
English, well,
Yeah, English and Welsh. And you always have to know that, the English are Anglo-Saxons. So there's always German blood there as well, which you probably are. Or like a Denmark, like a Viking thing. Because between those Germanic tribes,
they always intersected.
they always, conquered. These are conquering people. So that takes us to 97%.
So that's pretty much where. Is this an assumption that the Irish, Scottish, the English, that was basically probably from slave trade?
Oh, yeah. That's all.
Unless Gail's pretty sure that it's rape, but who knows? Maybe somebody in your family dated some,
Settler or visitor or something?
yeah,
It's
maybe
kinda
there
heavy.
was a young 1890s Eminem type. You know what I mean? That just loved the culture. But the chances are, because of the name Douglas, it could be a slave owner. I would love to find that out. And, maybe, we could try seeing if there's some kind of historian that could do this. But, I mean, if somebody would have said to me, your friend Earl, how much English, Irish, and Scottish does he have? I'd say, look at him. 0.
7%.
The fact that Kathleen from the Bronx is more Irish than your African shocks me.
Yeah, because what was her?
She was 98% pure Irish.
right straight down the line.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a full continent to play around with there. And she's got that one little island off the coast of England, and her people never got off.
98.
It's embarrassing. That means there's a lot of interbreeding. I remember one time she said to me, I want you to meet my mother and my sister. And there was only one person.
It's the ending of Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown. I said, relax, Kathleen. It's Chinatown. We got 3% more. Could Earl be 3% Native American? And what tribe? What tribe? If you had to guess, is Native American?
Iroquois.
Chippewa.
Seminole.
That'd be something if it was Seminole. Same people who own the Hard Rock Stadium. When did they name that stadium that? I just saw it this weekend. They were saying it constantly.
Naming rights.
Yeah, but when did that happen?
That happened, I think, last year, I believe.
This is how few Dolphin games I watch. Here we go, Earl. 3%. We'll find out exactly what kind of Native American that you are, Earl. 97% of you have already been figured out. There's only 3% more. Earl, you are 3%. French.
What?
You are 0% Native American.
Hence my disgust for the French.
Yeah. Self-loathing is what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
You are 10% Irish, Scottish, English, Welsh, and French. Bizarre. Bizarre. Now, they also gave maps of, the crossover and all. I don't know why they put the one here, Chris. Do you know what this map means, the American part of it?
I couldn't tell because there wasn't any of his DNA from there.
Right. But it looks like a map from New York down to...
Like South Carolina?
Yeah, about maybe even Georgia, to say that maybe that's where you came in. Everything about you is wrapped around the Atlantic Ocean, which I find to be, wherever your people were, they were hugging the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, New York was a big port, too. It was a slave port.
Yeah, but since the slaves generally didn't stop here,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They worked their way down.
Yeah, they were kind of shipped after that. I find it fucking fascinating, though.
3% French. Explains everything.
I never...
So much whiter than I thought.
Yeah, if somebody would have said, do you think Earl is 10% white? I go, no, I'm not really. What are you most excited about in your background, Earl?
Like the Mali, Benin, that part of it just blows my mind.
Yeah. That is definitely here. Go back to this part. This is basically your people. This thing here is where your people came out of. What's also interesting is when you consider that people, come from Africa, your family apparently didn't travel much after that. You know what I mean? Over the next millions of years. They're like, no, we like it here.
We had enough.
So they're showing there the ports too? Where they came in?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't read it exactly.
That's crazy.
Maybe we can put this up. But I think this whole fucking thing fascinating.
Yeah, well, that big swath right there makes a lot of sense. Carolina.
So they're saying that's where the Douglases have lived.
Yeah, and then I believe beginning in 1850.
Okay, let's take a look at that. So 1850 to 1875. Oh wait, did you? Yeah. So you're basically, Earl, pretty southern. Now go up to New York. Now there's nothing there.
Nothing.
All his stuff is southern.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I knew for a while.
So around 19. All right, so I'm figuring this website out. So I hit click 1900, and then it has the Douglases coming from the south towards New York.
Well, that's what happened. Now put ethnicity. Click that though.
That just goes from the
whole thing.
the big picture.
All right, so then 1850. Are you telling me that that's when they think they got here, or before? Or that's just where they were at that point? Go to 1875 now. And your family had pretty much stayed in the South, the furthest making it into Virginia. 1900. Some of you going into New York. 25. Now, let's see the link to tree. I didn't see this before. So, they're telling you to make your own family
Yeah,
tree?
you have to input the information.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want somebody to do it for us.
Yeah.
I think that would be fascinating if we could get somebody to work with this now.
It also looks like some Douglases went to Ohio and Illinois around 1925.
If you look at the part of Indiana that they're in, right?
Yeah.
That would have been the same place that the Jackson 5 is from.
I
Earl,
got people in Gary.
this is exciting.
Yes. You got people from Gary, Indiana. Now, Earl, have you ever met someone that you found out that you were related to? Have you ever met another Douglas that you were able to say, oh, we are related? Like, you didn't meet him at a family thing or anything?
No, not anyone that was like, oh, we like second or third cousins or something like that. I don't know.
In my life, I have never met another Bennington other than my brother and sisters. I've never met a Bennington cousin. I've never met anybody that they said, oh, your uncle was my grandfather. Never in my life. So, Earl, in many ways, I'm like you, a slave, brought to this country that made it to Gary, Indiana, and became the sound man for what I consider the greatest boy band of all time, the Jackson 5. Are you thrilled that you know this information, or is this information that you reject?
Absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is blowing my mind.
Can you wait to take this home and bring it to your family?
Yeah, I mean, it'll connect dots.
You think your family will feel good about it?
I think they'll feel. My sisters, are you kidding me? They're Pan-African this to begin with, so
Yeah.
they'll just.
Maybe as a family, you guys could go back there.
Yeah, go back to Benin
It would be wonderful
or Tago.
to go back to your family's basic birthplace and be slaughtered by the people who live there now.
It's like I remember watching. I forgot which part it was. The Scorsese thing that he did for PBS on the blues.
Yeah.
And I think it opens with them, I think, going to Mali. And
This is
that,
very, very exciting. The blues connection for you
yeah.
is very, very exciting.
Yeah. And I remember watching that, and I'm just like, I lost it. I was just like, this is the
You were
most,
crying.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I didn't know why.
Yeah. Now you do know
Now
why.
I know why.
Your DNA was calling out. Your ancestors were calling to you,
I think the
saying, this
birthplace
is us. You're from the birthplace of the blues.
And the other areas, that you see how they made the moves from Mali to.
Would you be willing to go there and visit Earl if we put it together?
I would love to take a road trip. Are you kidding me? I would love to go back.
It's over an ocean. He says he's on a road trip to Africa.
It is a road trip.
What's wrong with that, Earl? Chris?
He has to take a plane there first before he gets to
You can do a road trip by plane.
Now, by the way, I think on this site, now that they have your DNA, they'll send you matches. Like there's places to look for matches of people who are second cousins and stuff like that. There's a spot on here. I don't know where it is. Where it's like if you hit DNA matches. See if they've got any. So these are people here on the right.
Wow.
Oh, that's my niece.
What is it really?
Yeah, that's my niece.
The top
Oh my
one?
God. See,
So-
this says close family.
That's my.
Next one says first cousin.
My great aunt.
So wait, are we saying that people in your family you think
Have
have taken the DNA test?
Yeah.
This, yeah.
So these are people that are related to him who have also
Yeah.
taken.
So these are people that they are
They've already done the test.
barely sure. Now go up, go down one. This is great. That's a Stanley.
Oh my God. You're related to a Stanley.
We're cousins.
Oh my God. Third cousins. Oh my God. That's
This is
funny.
so exciting.
Yeah, I'm surprised my niece did it. I mean, I haven't talked to her in a long time, but
Why didn't she share all this information with you?
Yeah, really. Whole family should know.
Dude, that's awesome.
There are people.
And look at how accurate this is. Like you're like, oh, that's my niece, and in underneath it says possible range, close family, first cousins. You know, it's like knows that it's within in that exact
That's
range.
weird, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Earl, I would be willing to go back to Africa with you. And I'll take a lighter and a flashlight. and be considered a god there. He has the sun in his hand. I think that's how they talk, like Native Americans. He
That's
has sun
where
in hand.
probably your dad got confused. Similar accent.
You're thrilled, though, huh, Earl?
Yeah, this is.
Now, how
Wow.
do you feel about the possible 10% of rape, most likely? Not good?
I mean, that's. I mean, that it was. It was. You know,
It was what it was.
Right. But then if you think of it as dark and horrible as it is, it's weird to think like you would not exist if not for whatever that situation was.
I have a theory that is true of every human person.
Oh, yeah.
That all of us are a product that we'd have to be very thankful about two things. Rape is why we were here, and also cowardice. That there was some situation, some ancestor that ran away instead of going to the war.
100%.
Ran away
Yep.
when the family's home was attacked. You know what I mean? Like,
Weird.
we have, this aggressive sexual predator thing and the fight or flight. We have both fight and flight in
But
us.
yeah, that's weird because you always hear like you are the product of the survivors, right? So you think
Right.
like, oh, I'm of the strong, like only the strongest survive. But some of that is like weakness and running,
Yes.
cunning, sneakiness,
Yes.
and like, yeah,
Probably turned in everybody else and
yeah,
took the reward and went down with
Weird.
it.
It could actually go the other way too. Who's to say let's say the black male was aggressive and
Yeah.
rapist with the Scottish.
Well, that person would be dead. Let's be honest about that. But yeah. So, or you could have had a black male rape a black female, a white. We all have it. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's in everyone. I hate to say that everyone's a little Italian, but there's no other way to explain that.
I don't think rape needs to be part of being Italian.
I'm
No,
sorry,
it
I can't
is.
hear you over the tiny little pizza.
Very loud.
Sound?
Matt in Maryland. Matt.
Hey, gang. Gail, welcome back. Really great to hear you.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be back.
Oh. Earl, congratulations. This is really great. I just want to share a little bit with you about Mali. Timbuktu is in Mali, and that used to be the kind of the cultural capital of northern Africa. So you've got a lot of the historical writings are kept by the families even to this day. A lot of great music comes from Timbuktu. And if you want to look up one artist, Amadou and Miriam are a blind couple from Mali that do music today that I think you'd enjoy.
No, I'm very familiar with them.
But here's the weird thing. And so you could have people. Your favorite band used to be Timbuktu in the 1980s. So were you first of all, Timbuktu. It's a real place, not just something your grandmother yelled at you. All right, Kevin in Houston. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
What's up, buddies?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, black girl, man, you better watch out. Now they got your DNA. They're going to be fucking putting a case on you.
That's happening to a lot of people.
Yes, it has happened with a couple, two very like big high profile like serial killer and serial rapist cases.
I also found out that the people who put this together are very unhappy that the federal government is using it this way because they think it's going to have less people doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is weird because when people signed up, they did not realize they were giving that level of consent. And
Right.
that's a huge level of consent. Like, I'd like to know my background and also give away a cousin of mine if he's ever done something wrong.
People are always saying to me, hey, why don't you do your DNA test? I go, I can't. I'm a serial killer. Earl, I'm going to send this to you so that you don't have to write it down. But it was very, very interesting to see Earl's face as this was happening.
I know it made me quite misty.
Yeah. Well, until recently, right? African Americans didn't know anything about themselves because these were people that were snatched from their homeland.
Yeah. They have no history.
There was nothing documented either.
Yeah.
Like, my grandmother wasn't, I think she lived into her 80s. I don't think she even had a birth certificate. Like
Your own grandmother
My
never had a
grandma.
birth certificate.
A lot of those documents either didn't exist or were not created or.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that is always interested is most of our families have kept family secrets. Most of my people in my family are going to get zip, zilch. You know me. Ping, pow, boom. They're not going to tell you. It's personally, I always think if you want to find out anything about the family, the women know the secrets more than the men. The women keep the secrets, and a lot of the men are ignorant to the family secrets.
And strangely, they pass them on sometimes to the
other
younger women. So
Yes.
they're like, nobody talks about this, but this thing. And
Well,
you're like, whoa.
I have this
carrying
belief
that.
too, is like the women are the glue to every family, and that's why they would do this. That's almost like a mark of womanhood. I can trust you
Yeah.
with this secret. I would bring it up to you, Chris, but you have no living relatives.
Not one.
But I think most families would agree that it will be the women who go and say, no, I know you had a fight with him, but we're bringing him back into
Right.
the fold. Or they're also have been less likely to move away. Like the women tend to stay closer.
They're often the caretaker of the
Yeah.
parents.
Right.
So for that reason, they often stay.
Yes, and even before that, the grandparents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll be keeping an eye on them. And there also isn't a great mythology about, the mythology is the young man goes off to make his fortune. There's not the mythology of hey, it's time for you to go up and make your mark in life, Maybe that'll be changing
Yeah.
now that we're in this new jazz age. You know what I mean? I guess that's what this is called.
It is.
The age of jazz. I'm very happy for you, Earl. I'm happy.
This is
I hope it's
wow.
yeah.
Like,
Look, I've never seen you teared up before.
no, this is like a lot of things connect now
Yeah.
in a weird cosmic kind of way, but they connect.
You feel very. The fact that you said, "Am I Scotch?" was very weird to me. Hey, is it disappointing that you're not Native American at all?
I mean, I love the culture. I love
Drop it, dude.
Yeah.
reading about it. I love everything about it.
Start
Now-
to study the Welsh.
Now St. Patty's Day parade.
St. Patty's Day for
See
you.
there.
The Steel Day.
Pick up another surprising one. Pick up some Tom Jones records. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da.
Was he like the film? Was he like the
He's Welsh.
Welsh? I'm
One of
trying to
the
think.
real prides. Who was in here not too long ago that was Welsh? And it's the actor that was with Sarah Silverman a little while ago.
Michael Sheen.
Yeah, Michael Sheen. And I forget what he was doing, some kind of weird thing. And I'm like, the topography in this, it was just jagged. It was some kind of weird
Like a horror film.
right, that took place. And just the trailer alone, it looked like this horrible, cold, jagged rock place. And I go, oh man, that just, that's scary enough. He goes like this, that's my hometown. He goes, we shot this one scene that you're talking about. On the other side of that is the playground for the school. The Welsh, it's, I mean, you know what's really like, even when we think of England, the amount of fucking just wide open spaces in the north of England are shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
And there's such like big cultural difference. And I think that's, Americans don't always know just the difference between North and South
No.
and the class difference and like Yeah.
Well, when Roger Daltrey was here, by the way, he's taking your place for the next GPS.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting. I'm going to try to get me replaced with Mick Jagger.
This is huge.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And hopefully get a little kickback our way.
Yeah, it'll be nice. And this thing's going to sell some subscriptions. See if there's what bands are from Northern England. By the way, you don't know this because Earl wasn't in the room when you were leaving. Earl's the worst Google person in the history of the world. The worst.
Well, this is exciting because this is really my first day working with Earl.
Is that right? You've known him for 18 years and you guys have never worked together?
No, yeah.
Wow.
I had already started my leave when he joined on.
It was hard to get Earl back in here. How long did we work on that, Earl? And at one point, I don't think I've ever even told you this, but at one point I was up at the National Comedy Museum and I was actually traveling there. And Earl calls me and he goes, hey, buddy, I want you to thank you for, trying to bring me back in the radio. I got a call and they said they were going in another direction. And I'm like, Earl, you're our only direction.
We picked you.
We don't have another person. He goes, that's okay. He was very kind about it. And I'm like, I'm furious about this. And I had to call all the bosses.
Yeah.
There was no other person.
No.
So I know one that's northern. I think Soft Cell, I believe, is in northern England.
Isn't it like Arctic Monkeys and all those guys?
Soft Cell.
They're northern.
Soft Cell. Ed Sheeran is northern.
How far north? Well, I saw Ed Sheeran's fucking town. It looks cold as shit. It looked like one street, row houses, right on a vicious fucking ocean.
These are all bands from Yorkshire and northern eastern England. So
does it say where Soft Cell is from?
Soft Cell is from Leeds. We're also
live at Leeds.
Live at Leeds. Mel B of the Spice Girls, the Kaiser Chiefs are also there.
Let me take a look at where Leeds is on the map. John in South Carolina, you're on the Bennington Show.
Hey, Benningtons, welcome back, Gail.
Thanks so much.
As a lark, last year, my family decided to do a DNA test, and it ended up that my brother wasn't related to any of us, not my mother, not my father. And we were shocked, but like you had said, Ron, all the women in our family gone. There was no one to ask, where'd this kid, end up from.
So your mom was already gone when you did this?
Yes, my mom was gone, my dad was gone, all the aunts, even my older sister had passed on.
What has happened to in a lot of families is a lot of times the daughter has the baby, the mother raises it as her own.
Right.
Or there's a missing child that the family brings in and raises as their own and sees no reason to say this isn't the same as they do that out of complete love, that we're all the same. This is your brother, this is your brother, this is your brother. And that's fine when you're a little kid, but you should kind of know, your history a little bit as you get older. And of course, plenty of guys have been told you are the father that aren't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we were shocked because brain issues run in our family.
Yeah.
And that's why we actually started going for a lot of these tests. And he didn't have it. And we kind of kidded with him, hey, you dodged a bullet here, Yeah. And but it was just interesting. And we always said, we always knew that he was the oddball. We were all 4 years apart in age, and he was. Him and I were only 14 months apart, Irish twins, and we were, we never thought anything of it. We came from a family of 6, it didn't matter. And
there was plenty of times, and I don't know if all kids felt like this, but I used to think I'm not like any of these people,
Well, so right away I'm thinking, okay, they took a kid in, and they just didn't want to tell everyone. But what if it's a switched at birth on accident
that also happened back
in the hospital.
In those days? Yeah, I mean, they were pretty lax about that kind of stuff for years.
Those mistakes happen more often.
We kind of thought that maybe too, but I mean, not giving out too much, but my dad was a doctor, And
Oh,
we
okay.
kind of figured that it was a very close family friend. The daughter got herself in a situation.
Right.
The family said that we don't want to put this baby on a doorstep, or leave it at the church. Hey, you're a successful doctor. This was out of Brooklyn at the time.
Yeah.
And, they said, hey, and it must have been a very close family friend.
Dude,
And,
you've got to watch this documentary, and I had Gail watch it about this same kind of thing about children that were separated at birth. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it was an amazing to show that how we are pre-programmed, we are wired. Who we are at birth is who we are, and it's pretty interesting.
All right, thank you very much. Now,
That's interesting.
having said that, I would normally pick nurture over nature, and I don't know whether this is, but Gail reminded me so much of Gail the second that she was born. Like, I feel like she has the same kind of facial things that she does, the way that she acted just reminds me of the way you are now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a personality. It's
Yeah, she
so
does.
strong, and she has things about her that remind me, that don't remind me of me or my husband,
Right.
that they're just her. Like,
Yes.
she was just born with a different spark than us.
That's why I always think it's odd the way a lot of people will see their kids as a reflection of themselves. I think it's almost impossible
Yeah.
to do that, because why would they make the same decisions as another person? So when your kid does something wacky, you're like, you've let us all down, and now where does that come from?
Yeah.
Why can't you just be like, look at this dope and the
Yeah.
dopey decisions the dope made? That's the way I'm always surprised at Italians. It's so easy for them to kill a relative
They love it.
if the Godfather tells them to. I guess they're just like marching ants. Glenn in New Jersey.
What's going on, Bennington?
Yeah.
So this is a little weird story, but I found out when I was 6, my mother told me, she sat me down on the bed and said, hey, you're adopted. And never really thought anything else about it, just went through life like that. Then in my 20s, my dad was diagnosed with lupus. So, then I started doing, I don't know, my mom was always weird about it, so I never really could ask her anything. So I just started doing some digging, and I found out that I was a typhus baby, and that my birth mother, left it open so I could contact her if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up contacting her and it was more, I didn't want to reconnect or anything. I had a great family, so it was not like, oh, I'm so pissed. I said, all right, I just want to know if what medical stuff I had coming my way. You never know. So I said, all right, I contacted her. She told me a story where she's like, all right, well, I got pregnant from your birth father, but he has no idea you exist because he went off to war. I guess they hooked up and he went off to war. He ended up meeting somebody overseas and he ended up getting married to this woman. So she never told him. So I was like, I'm not going to go, mess with this guy. So I did a DNA test, and just to that was just to see what my background was. And that was maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So all of a sudden I get a bing this couple weeks ago saying, hey, you have a match. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Go on to the site. I look and it's like, hey, you have a close relative. It gives you categories. And it shows you the tree where you would be. So it's it shows that we share the same father. And I was like, this guy didn't really catch on at first. And then I ended up sending him a letter, on a note saying, hey, I really don't want anything. I'm not looking for anything, but because we're connected now, if you could tell me any medical history, and I kind of gave him the background of, the birth mother, man, this guy froze up. I haven't heard anything. He locked his account. Like, can't even send him a message. And it's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a shame. I wish.
No. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not looking for anything. You could look at my Facebook and Instagram. I have a nice family. I have kids. I'm not like, desperate looking for, money or anything. I'm like,
you're coming off a little bit that way, though.
What do you want exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And
I if somebody would have come to me and said, "Oh, I'm your brother," whatever, or if some fucking guy showed up now and said, "Oh, you had a fucking one nighter with my mom," I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is great!" You know what I mean?
Yeah, why would
I'd be so happy.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Yeah, I mean that's fun. You get through all the bad stuff, and you're just adults together.
Exactly. And a week later, his brother reactivated his account, and I guess they were just trying to see if he was connected too, and it showed the exact same thing. And I was reading their account, so they have it's like two brothers and a sister. So I actually said to him, I go, listen, I have your dad's contact information, but I'm not going to send anything. I go, either you can break it to him or don't break it to him. But all I'm asking is if, for my kid's sake, to give me some medical background. And that's when he locked the account and everything. I was like, wow, it's crazy.
They don't want to split any money. This old man must have some bucks.
Yeah, it must
you know what I mean?
Hey, they're out in Hawaii, so I was like, hey, that'd be cool.
I'm sure he's been running the Golden Triangle over there for quite some time.
So it's just weird how some people are. And
everybody's a little Italian. That's what I like to say. They're just a little bit Italian, in their own way. Hey, Rich in Michigan.
Hey, hi guys, how you doing?
Good
to have you back, Gail.
Thanks so much. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when you and Gail are talking about the Italian family because I am from one. Supposedly, anyway. My grandma and grandfather on my dad's side were 100% Italian. They came over to the yeah. So earlier this summer, we were at a family get-together, and I had this test done that Earl had done. And when I mentioned to my mom that I had this done, her reaction was, "Really, you did? And what'd you find out?" And she was not happy that I had this done. Well, it turned out that none of my connections went to Italy. They were all from different areas, but none of them went to Italy, where I'm supposed to be a high percentage from. And when I brought that up to her, she immediately changed the subject and started talking about something else and didn't want to mention it at all, especially in front of my dad. So I still haven't figured out what that was all about, but apparently there's something going on there.
Yeah, everybody, believe me, every family has that.
Right.
All right, thanks, Rich. Thanks, man.